want to switch gears now so we
Okay.
can kind of touch on a few topics I know are near and dear to people who are thinking about this lifestyle. Can we talk a little bit about how we finance this lifestyle, give people an idea of how it works?
Okay, so to be clear, we are not independently wealthy. We are not rich. We just prioritize certain things over others to make this happen. So when we first left, I'm rewinding a little bit because this matters. Okay. So when we first left to travel, I had no source of income and we were living exclusively off of David's ESL teaching income. He got to be the breadwinner for a while. It was pretty great. So we lived exclusively off of that until 2021 when we left Malaysia and went to Mexico for a while. And the summer of 2021, there were some changes with the Chinese ESL online teaching industry. Some new government standards basically resulted in like 90 some percent of the industry shutting down. So it was tough. It really was. And, I'm not really going to go into like how and why the standards changed because, quite frankly, I don't understand. It's government stuff way beyond my scope. So we're just going to let it go with that. You can look it up if you were interested.
If you want to look it up, it's called the double reduction policy. So
Yes.
You can always look it up.
Yes. So with that policy in place, David was no longer going to be teaching directly for the company that he was working for. He did have some students who were interested in working with him privately. So he kind of scrambled and put together a curriculum and retained some of his students, and that got us through for a little while. But since then, we have branched out and I have monetized my travel blog at no additional expense to my readers. So I provide a really high level of assistance for family travel planning with a focus on Southeast Asia and the Americas. But David is still doing some online ESL teaching. I do some SEO, which is search engine optimized freelance writing and editing. And David runs another website called The Tutor Resource, which offers online teaching materials and curriculum subscription style for online teachers and tutors who are working with private students or working for a company that doesn't provide resources also so that they have materials to use. So the double reduction policy seemed like the end of digital nomad life for us, but we've actually pivoted in like several different directions and we are making more now than you made most months teaching online outside of pandemic shutdowns. But
outside of that.
But I would say on average, we probably are living on $3,000 a month or less.
Most months.
I mean, there's a couple months where it's more. Like when we were in Cusco and went to Machu Picchu, that was an expensive month because just for the three of us to go not on a guided tour, it was like $500 almost. But the fact that we have the flexibility to be able to kind of upsurge for big things like that is important. So that's why I say most months. So there's some months are more, some months are less, but on average, I'd say $2,500 to $3,000 a month is kind of our average living expenses.
For new families out there looking to get into this lifestyle, one of the things that really helped us get into it originally is we ran into a nice couple and they shared their expenses with us and showed us exactly what they used to live on. And they had a family of 4. We have a family of 3. So we're like, oh, if they can make it work,
Absolutely.
so can we. So if you're interested, you can always reach out to us on Instagram. We can talk through things and see how our budget is so you can see if that's the kind of thing that works for you as well.
I will say I'm not so organized that I could send you a budget spreadsheet.
No, she
I'm
was.
just not. Like that's I use spreadsheets for a lot of things, but tracking every single expense our family has is not my forte. But I also do want to say we do local fun things. We go to free days at the museums. We go to parks. We go to playgrounds. We go on free walking tours. But we also do fun stuff. You know, for little man's birthday, we went to the hot springs and we went bowling and we went out for sushi. On my birthday, we went on a winery tour. So we do spend money on activities, but it's not like a vacation where you are packing in every activity a location has to offer in a single week. So we are where we are now for a month, and we go out probably 2 or 3 times a week to do activities. And then the other days we stay in, we chill, we relax. Sometimes we'll watch a family movie, play board games. It's about balance. So you don't go into a digital nomad lifestyle thinking because you're traveling all the time that you are going on paid, overpriced excursions all the time because you're not.
Just to give you an example, the last 2 days for me have been car work. I had to go get an oil change. I had to get tires on the car, different things. You're still doing the same kind of things you would do. We go to the grocery store every week. We don't just order out or go to restaurants all the time. It's still life. It's just life on the road.
We do go to restaurants.
Not all the time.
No, but we do eat
More than
out,
once.
So I'm just saying, like, when you're looking at our budget, quote unquote, because when we find English speaking movies in theaters, we go.
So it's not always just the local amazing church sites or
Well, I
salt
mean,
mines or
exactly.
XYZ. It's normal day-to-day life.
So long answer to a quick question.
And of course, we can't go anywhere without education. As we do travel with a child.
We do?
Yes.
Oh, we do.